I'm sorry, it's going to be a noisy video. I just don't feel like setting up a microphone. I'm driving home. I went to a place called Fenix, F-E-N-I-X, Fenix Parts in Greensboro. It was formerly Tri-City, but I don't know what Fenix is, but I think it's some bigger chain, because when I call the phone number, I get redirected to a call center. And they do give me one person to deal with the whole time, but unfortunately, the problem is that I went there to get a part that they had a good price on. And I was in Greensboro. It's 5:06, but I was in Greensboro. The hours, according to the guy in the call center, and according to Google Maps, and even on their door, said 8 a.m. or something like that to 5 p.m. The bottom line is they closed at 5 p.m. It's July the 3rd, and they're closed. But the problem is that the door, the maps, and the guy at the call center all said they close at 5, and they have a thing on their door slapped on a piece of paper that says customer pickups are only until 4 p.m. Dude, that's not how business hours work, guys. So anyway, I was in Greensboro doing something else, and I went there to go pay for the part in person. But before this, I had been dealing with the guy in the call center. He sent me a link to make a payment, and I typed in all my private personal information, whatever, credit card and everything, so that I could pay for the part. Unfortunately, after I did all that and got a receipt, and I texted the guy a picture of the door, and I said, look, they close at 4, not 5. He said, and the only thing I need now is a picture of your ID. Really? Let me get this straight. You're an automotive junkyard, okay? You can't be open when I come there to pay in person. And I pay online, so I'm conforming to your system, even though it's a pain in my ass. I can't call and make a payment over the phone. No, I have to do it online. Then, and the guy admitted he probably should have said something before he sent me the form and had me fill it out. But I can't pay it without paying it online. Okay, but then you need my ID? Yeah, so not only do you want me to give you, through this weird system, which I did at least verify is legit, my credit card number and my billing and shipping and whatever, all this information, but also, you want a picture of my driver's license to go with it? Dude, in any business online that I do business with, I'm able to use my card number, and I don't need to provide a picture of my driver's license. What? This is like scammy crap. There is no reason I should have to provide my driver's license to be able to pay you to have a part ready, quote, in 24 hours, which really at this point would have meant Monday. But let me tell you something. I went to, a long time ago, when I went to King Auto Salvage in Mebane to buy something, I can't remember. It was a part off of a Ford Escort. I think it was the throttle linkage. I went to King Auto Salvage. I walked in. I said, this is what I need. And they said, okay, this is how much it is. Okay, and you pull it. Okay, and I went out, and I pulled my own part, and I came back to the counter with it, and I paid them, and I left. Same day, 30 minutes tops, and I was out of there with my throttle linkage. But no, for some reason, you have to go through this long-ass process with this company. I don't understand it. This whole thing is really bad business. I'm so tempted to curse, but I'm trying to keep it as friendly and professional as possible, given the experience. So, if I go to Marsh Auto Parts in Siler City, I've gone to Marsh Truck Parts and I bought a giant truck horn. There's a Peterbilt truck horn that I'm going to put in a car one day. I was going to put it in my Prelude a long time ago, but, I went out there and I bought a part from them, and guess what I did? I went up there, I said, hey, I want to buy a part. I want to buy a truck horn. I don't really care too much about it. I just want it to be loud and annoying. And they said, okay, it's like, whatever, $50. And they drove out there in a little courier vehicle or whatever. And they said, how's that one? And I said, yeah, that's good. Okay, wait at the front and we'll bring it to you. And they went and brought it to me, and I left. Why is it that this one company, this Fenix Parts, that seems to have bought up these other small, these parts places in Greensboro and Charlotte at least. Why is it that Fenix Parts is not able to do business like every other auto parts place? Why is it that when I call, I get some call center that has no idea what's going on in the local office? That the office is 30 miles from me, and the call center is what? I think the guy that I talked to was in Fort Worth. It's fucking stupid. Oh, okay, there we go. I blew it. But you understand my frustration. Why is it that this is the only place? They're near me. They have a good price on the part I need. It's a common part, and just I've gone through so much crap, and none of it was necessary. All I wanted to do was walk in, say I need thing, they get thing, give it to me, and I give them my $80 or whatever. But no. Even worse, there's a core charge apparently. They want me to bring the busted one so that they can fix it themselves and resell it to someone. What? See, you want me to bring a broken thing, and it's not like an alternator, it's like a rim. It's just, it boggles the mind. Everything about doing business with these people blows my mind, because I don't do business like this. And the only other time that I've dealt with this kind of garbage is when I leased a retail space like 15 years ago or something from a huge company in Alpharetta, Georgia called Brixmore. But they were in Alpharetta, and I was in Siler City, North Carolina. And I wanted to lease this retail slot, and everything that I needed from them, I could not call and talk to anybody who had any degree of decision-making power. The only thing I could do is leave a message or send a letter or whatever, and they'd have to, there'd be a committee meeting at some point that it would be brought up on, and they discuss it there, and then they give me an answer. So it'd take a week for anything to happen. This is like government levels of BS bureaucracy. So it drives me insane already that they can't be accurate with their hours. They can't take my payment without me giving them a picture of my friggin' ID. So they made it very difficult for me to give them my money. All I want to do is give you guys my money. I just want to give you my money. Take my money, give me my little spinny wheel, and be done with it. But no, they can't do that, can they? They can't just take my money and give me my part. No, they got to have my driver's license. Who are you going to sell that to, guys? What database are you going to put that in? I don't want to send you my driver's license. The only place I should ever have to show my driver's license is when I'm trying to buy alcohol in a store. And for some reason, this isn't a good enough shiny ID for them. When I'm buying alcohol, when I'm flying, and when I'm doing official government paperwork of some sort, I don't know, jury duty. Hell, I did jury duty, and they didn't ask to see my driver's license, I don't think. So I don't get it. What do you want from me? It's like, you're insane. Why are you asking for people's driver's licenses? I'm not going to do business with you ever again because of this. And I hope that your company goes out of business for it. This is a massive invasion of people's privacy just to get a friggin' part from you. And it's like, it's not that hard, but you've made it hard. If you run a business, don't make it hard for me to give you my money. The harder you make it, the less likely I am to put up with it. So what am I going to do now? Well, I just lost out on that good deal. But you know what? My driver's license isn't rolling around in some database that God knows who it would end up in front of. God knows what they do with it once they get it. God knows if they're going to try and print fake ones for illegals or something. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But they don't need my driver's license. Good God. And yeah, okay, some of you might be like, now hold on. It's not that big of a deal to send them a picture of your driver's license. They just want to make sure you're not committing credit card fraud. Okay, that might be fair if it weren't for the fact that nobody does that. Nobody's asking me to see my driver's license when I go and buy a part with a credit card in person, or when I buy on Amazon, or when I buy on eBay, or when I buy anywhere. There's nobody, especially people who force you to go through some kind of online portal. You know, the town doesn't force me to pay my water bill. And oh, by the way, we need your driver's license to take your credit card. Nobody does that. And your driver's license has sensitive information all over it. It's got your address, your full name, your date of birth, your driver's license number. But the only thing it doesn't have is your social security number. All kinds of private information. The front of your license can be used to steal your identity. That's all that it takes. So yeah, it's a little bit of a problem that you're asking me for that, especially when all I'm trying to do is buy a busted up wheel from you. Do not buy anything from Fenix Parts. Fenix Parts needs to go out of business, or they need to change their business practices so that they do not deeply invade the privacy of other people just to take their money. You're making it too hard to take my money. Take my money, please. Now, if somebody has wheels, got a spare wheel for a 2013 Chevy Spark, and you're anywhere remotely close to the Piedmont area of North Carolina, I will drive 4 hours and give you $80 to give me a non-bent Chevy Spark rim. Okay? Let me know. All right, I'm out of here. Like, comment, you know what? Don't like, comment, and subscribe. Unsubscribe. Go watch my unsubscribe-a-thon video. Unsubscribe just because in the spirit of dealing with this kind of crap when you want to give somebody your money, unsubscribe. In fact, do one better. Hit that button where you're subscribed. Hit the button twice, just to be sure. Unsubscribe twice. There you go. Have a great day.